Good evening and welcome to the Blueprint Explosive Exclusive. We bring you this special show from Vijay Chowk right outside Parliament, which saw a heated debate this afternoon. While speaking on the anti-paper league bill amendment, clearly Rahul Gandhi, who has been taking the fight to the government on a number of issues, including raising issues pertaining to the crackdown on students, what the opposition is calling police brutality by police excess by the Delhi police. The charge, of course, was seeking accountability from the central government. But Rahul Gandhi used some adjectives and words which the ruling party, the Treasury benches, found extremely objectionable. And they said that this is not behavior or language that is becoming of a member of parliament and certainly not that of the LoP. First, listen in to the speech of Rahul Gandhi.
मैंने तो सिर्फ ये पूछा है कि दो ही ऑप्शंस हो सकते हैं। एक ऑप्शन की होम मिनिस्टर ने ऑर्डर दिया, दूसरा ऑप्शन की होम मिनिस्टर को मालूम नहीं था कि फायरिंग होगी। इन फर्स्ट केस ही इज कल्पेबल, इन सेकंड केस ही इज इनकॉम्पिटेंट। इट कैन ओनली बी वन ऑफ टू, तीसरा तो हो ही नहीं सकता। या होम मिनिस्टर को मालूम ही नहीं था कि गोली चल रही है, उसका मतलब है कि ही इज इनकॉम्पिटेंट। अदरवाइज ही ऑर्डर्ड इट, इन विच केस इज कल्पेबल। मैं यही बोल रहा हूं।
सोचिए आप कितना गलत बात बोल रहे हैं। आप कल्पना कर सकते हैं, आप बिना सोच समझ के जो इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं और किसने फायरिंग को ऑर्डर दिया, व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन, कैसे बोल सकते हैं आप? कितना गलत बात करते हैं, ऐसा मत बोलिए। राहुल गांधी जी, आप नेता प्रतिपक्ष हैं, गंभीरता से बात बोलना चाहिए। किसने आपको बताया और किस तर्क के साथ आप ये बयान दिया है? ये बहुत गलत बात बोला है राहुल गांधी जी।
ये बार बार स्पष्ट किया गया कि गोली चली ही नहीं, अश्रु गैस, टीयर गैस का इस्तेमाल हुआ, लेकिन जब गोली चली ही नहीं तो आदेश देने का सवाल ही नहीं पैदा होता। और आदेश देने का अधिकार मैजिस्ट्रेट के पास रहता है, मंत्री के पास नहीं।
And also, as the anti-paper league bill was introduced in the Lok Sabha, we saw how the opposition was trying to take on the government. It wasn't just Rahul Gandhi, even KC Venugopal and Priyanka Gandhi taking on the government on the issue of accountability as far as students are concerned. Listen into their statements as well.
Delhi Police Commissioner taking order from Home Ministry only. The Home Minister himself is responsible. That is why he is not coming to the house at all. One thing, if Rahul ji make that allegation, what is the way out? Home Minister has to come to the house and he has to explain. I am not ordered. Then why this happened, police firing? He has to explain the house. Why he is running away from the house?
And in fact, as far as the BJP's attack on the opposition is concerned, giving a point-by-point rebuttal the points that were raised by various opposition leaders. Here is BJP Sambit Patra.
वो सदन में ही मौजूद थे जिस समय राहुल गांधी बोल रहे थे, वो सदन में ही मौजूद थे, मगर फिर भी राहुल गांधी ने कहा गृह मंत्री कहा गए। और यह बिल, जो बिल अनफेयर प्रैक्टिसेस का लाया गया था, प्रिवेंशन ऑफ अनफेयर प्रैक्टिस, इस प्रिवेंशन ऑफ अनफेयर प्रैक्टिस के बिल को जिस मंत्री जी ने, माननीय जितेंद्र सिंह जी ने ले किया था टेबल पे, जिस पे जवाब भी जब माननीय मंत्री जितेंद्र सिंह जी ने दिया, वो सदन के गृह में पूरी तरह से मौजूद थे। जिस समय राहुल गांधी जी कह रहे थे, उस समय भी जितेंद्र सिंह जी वहां मौजूद थे और लिख रहे थे राहुल जी क्या कह रहे हैं, ताकि वो जवाब दे सके। केवल सनसनी बनाने के लिए राहुल गांधी जी ने गृह मंत्री जी का नाम लिया।
All right, we have Kapil Madan, political analyst, joining us on the show right now. Kapil Madan, the question that many have is that while it is important, the opposition's job is to hold the government accountable. I don't think there can be any two ways about that. But the kind of language that has been used by the leader of opposition, what the government is saying is not only is it unparliamentary, it also lowers the dignity of the House when the leader of opposition indulges in the kind of language that he is engaging in. What do you have to say about that?
So, Madhav, let me begin by saying, this is not an issue of paper leak, it is an issue of accountability leak. And that's the reason why you see so much of anger, so much of frustration of the youth. That's the reason why the youth was on the road. And insofar as Mr. Rahul Gandhi's statement, remark, what he said in the parliament today in his speech was, he was giving an example that he met a student. It was an anecdote shared, and what were the remarks, what were the feelings of that student. He was just bringing that on the table so that the parliament should actually know what the student feels. And he gave an example. A student is someone who knows that he can go wrong. Student is someone who knows that he does not know everything. Student is someone who knows that there could be improvement in knowledge in the future. And in that context, he referred that there is another category of people who are idiots who know they know everything.
Because Rahul refused to repeat it. The point being made is in a normal discourse. You may meet someone tomorrow, Kapil, who has abusive words to use.
Madhav,
will you repeat those words in parliament or on a show like this?
Madhav, insofar as I am concerned, in fact, I have not seen any vocabulary which has classified the word idiot as an abuse. If you come across any
parliamentary and unparliamentary words.
So it is not an abuse for sure.
It is unparliamentary.
So Madhav, if someone has said something and you are quoting him, how would you quote him?
But
how would you quote him?
You don't quote people with unparliamentary words.
Well, I, in terms of my understanding, he was just quoting, and once he was. Once there was an objection taken by the learned speaker and the other member of the House, he had also said another category of people. There was an objection. After that objection, he never used those words. He changed. He said, I will use another category of people.
That's an admission of guilt, isn't it?
No, it's not an admission of guilt. It's the fact. One is, you should know, the parliament should know, entire country watches the debates of the parliament. The entire country should know what is the sentiment of the people. Now, in that context, it is important that you bring forward what was said as close to reality as possible. Yes, I do agree with you. There was an objection. Once there was an objection, in fact, Mr. Gandhi changed and said there is another category of people. That is also on record.
So there's another category of people, he says, but what will happen from here on is a very important question.
Tell me something.
May I ask you a question now?
Yeah.
The point is that you are seeking to put the Home Minister to account. You're seeking that he should give a response, so on and so forth. The question is, at the moment, neither has Mr. Amit Shah spoken in the House. Your questions at this point of time, at least as far as the government, as far as this particular paper leak bill, which was, many would say, should not have been held to ransom for 3 days, but nevertheless, it has today been passed. The point is that all those are valuable questions that you should ask and merited questions you should ask, but should it have delayed the entire paper leak bill? Was that justified in your view?
No, I'll give you another context. If the BJP knew that, this system requires these kind of reforms, were they sleeping for the last 12 years? What prompted the government to at least acknowledge, yes, there are flaws in the system. There are improvements which are required. There are strict measures which needs to be taken. Why is it that the government was in slumber and they could wake up only once the youth was on the road?
Amitabh Tiwari is joining us. He's an author as well as, of course, somebody who is a political analyst as well. Amitabh Tiwari, the point being made over here by him is that this was all about accountability, seeking accountability for the government for alleged police excesses. The question, though, is whether this was the correct time to do it when the entire country, the entire CGP movement that we saw, all wanted for a stringent legal provision, even as the investigation is going on into the entire NEET paper leak case. Should this have hijacked the entire proceedings in Parliament? Is that correct on part of opposition? Is it wrong? Your point of view.
So it's not about correct or wrong. It is about the fact that the impacted or the affected, which is the students, or their representative body, which is the CJP, has already entered into an agreement with the government on 3 points, largely. Correct? And they are, again, of course, even yesterday they have brought this question that this FIR thing is not being quashed, etc. So they could again reassemble, but largely that agreement is between the government and the protesters, who have agreed to this format, that the minister should resign and there should be a new bill. Now the question of the atrocities which is raised by the opposition is a valid question, but it should not come in the way of the passage of the bill, because the passage of the bill is very, very important to curb this paper leak menace, and they can of course make their point on the floor of the House on this aspect and force the government to give an answer also. But perhaps during the passage of the bill, this may not have been warranted.
Okay. Now the bill has been passed at least by the Lok Sabha. We don't know what will happen in Rajya Sabha, whether there will be further hangama, etc. But the point is, how is the government going to now address this issue? Because there are questions about intelligence failure. There are questions about police excess, whether too much force was used beyond lathi and tear gas, the pellet gun, so on and so forth, and a lot of material that has come out in public domain. How is the government now going to address that when the opposition raises these issues in the House?
Yeah, so I think as far as I understand, for the pellet gun incident, there is already an inquiry and the report should come within 7 days. And then the government will have to fix responsibility as to who is responsible for that. That's number one. On the issue of the opposition raising this issue, see, some of it is factual and some of it is political, rhetorical also, correct? Because whenever an opposition or a political party makes allegations, the fact of the political angle cannot be missed out. So while
what is the rhetorical aspect that you're referring to?
See, the rhetorical aspect or the political aspect here is that the opposition parties which have been raising the issue of unemployment for a long time perhaps feel left out of this entire exercise, because I don't see that the opposition parties were able to ikattha 20-25,000 people on this issue in this very capital, whereas they have a, I mean, even today, though Congress is a depleted force in Delhi, it would easily have thousands of volunteers and workers and supporters.
So where has the CJP failed where opposition has, opposition failed, I beg your pardon, where the CJP seems to have?
So Madhav, I don't think so. This is factually correct. If you see, opposition has been raising protests. They have organized several dharnas on this part. I've personally seen Dipinder Hooda on the roads. I've seen NSUI on the road. I have seen Youth Congress on the road. They have taken this issue forward, and they were equally vocal when the CJP protest was happening in parallel. But rather than the divide in the opposition, whether it's the students' body that has raised this issue, whether it is one political opposition party that has raised the issue, other political party raised the issue. The important point is the issue is worth addressing. The issue is worth resolving. It does not matter who has raised it. The point is, it was the concern of the student. It was the voice of the youth. It was voice of the Gen Zs. And everyone came together, and that's the reason why you saw that the government had to take accountability.
Okay, let's bring in Charu Pragya of the BJP. She's joining us remotely as well. Couldn't make it here. But Charu Pragya, your response to what's being stated by Kapil Madan. He says that these are issues which are directly connected to the public, to the citizens, to the protesters, and they are issues that are certainly worth raising in Parliament. Do you agree with the manner in which they've been raised? Charu Pragya.
Madhav, good evening. Sorry, just give me one second. 1 second. भैया मैं रोक लिया, मेरा आधा शो निकल गया है, आगे जाके मुझे मीडिया लॉन पे पहुंचना है.
Okay. I think Charu Pragya is speaking with the police there. She's trying to reach this particular location and is not able to do so. We will come back to her in just a minute. I'm going to request my crew here to help her out and try and bring her closer to this particular location. But at the end of the day, Amitabh, there are some serious questions that emerge from this entire episode. And the serious questions that emerge are A, when it comes to our entire education system, which needs an overhaul. Paper leaks, of course, is one thing which has been addressed over here. And the larger question, which opposition says, is of accountability, which is missing in our system. How are these concerns of opposition going to, at the end of the day, be addressed? Because they're going to come up. There are another 2 weeks of Parliament left. Are we going to see another washout?
See, I think the bigger issue is, of course, not in NEET paper leak. NEET paper leak is largely the trigger point, as you mentioned. There are much bigger issues of unemployment, lack of jobs, layoffs in the media and IT sector, and also this threat of AI, which has made the youth anxious and nervous about their careers. Now, are there easy solutions to these questions? The answer is no. So as this entire political ecosystem, which includes the government and the opposition, need to have a significant full-time debate on these issues in the Parliament, because these are the issues which led to the protest of the students on the NEET matter. So it's not an easy problem to solve, and the opposition will come back with these issues. Leave the opposition. I think the CJP itself in some weeks will start raising some of these issues, because after having tasted blood, they would not want to leave that success. Now the other question is on the fact that how the government will tackle. Let's say the era of, I think, one-way communication. What this
All right, and just ahead of that press conference of Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi, there's Amit Shah, who has congratulated every student in the passage of the Public Examination Amendment Bill 2026 in Lok Sabha today. The bill shields the dreams and aspirations of our youth, says Home Minister Amit Shah, by laying down ironclad provisions imposing the harshest punishment on those who dare to breach the sanctity of public examinations. Modi government will spare no one who attempts to imperil the future of our students, and will leave no stone unturned to ensure that they face the full wrath of the law. So that's a very strongly worded statement coming in from the Home Minister, saying that the government is showing its intent. There will be no stone left unturned to ensure that those who imperil the future of students will face the full wrath of the law.
Well, I think we've had enough of speeches in the past. We have enough of promises, what we've seen by our Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, and we've seen how he has failed to deliver on all those promises. Making law is one thing, and I can tell you as a lawyer, it's about how do you implement those laws. Whether you equipped your investigative agencies with enough technology to cope up with the changing challenges in these kind of investigation. Whether you give them enough resources, whether you give them enough training, whether you give them enough landscape to ensure that no culprit is left free, no culprit goes scot-free, and also if there is any nexus of any of the politician with these kind of criminals who spoils the entire careers of several students, they will not leave any stone unturned to ensure that he rots in jail. It's about how do you implement it on the ground. Rather than what you say.
But the biggest stumbling block in that was the law. Because you yourself have said, the Congress party has come out to say that in 2024, if the law, that amendment that was passed was not strong enough, this is clearly the way to go about it and fix it by bringing in stronger penalties.
So Madhav, I agree, because I will not preempt. You need certain measures, and this is one step taken by the government.
साथियों, जिस तरह से आप लोग देख रहे हैं लगातार कैसे सच की आवाज को, विपक्ष की आवाज को, नौजवानों की आवाज को दबाया जा रहा है, वो आपके सामने है। आज नेता प्रतिपक्ष श्री राहुल गांधी इस बाबत आपके सामने प्रेस वार्ता को संबोधित करेंगे। धन्यवाद।